Australian Open 2026. Aryna Sabalenka favorite but faces Swiatek. US threat Swiatek, Sabalenka's long-term rival for the top ranking, is overdue something special in Melbourne. Top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka is favorite to win a third Australian Open in 4 years but faces strong competition from a United States contingent led by Coco Gauff and defending champion Madison Keys. World number 2 Iga Swiatek is another big threat, while two-time Melbourne champion Naomi Osaka will hope to be in the mix when the first Grand Slam of the year begins on Sunday, January 18, 2026. Keys stunned titleholder Sabalenka 12 months ago in a classic 3-set final to win her first major title aged 29. But she failed to kick on from there, not winning another tournament all year, and the world number 9 will have a target on her back as the title holder. 3 other Americans are ranked inside the world's top 10, Gauff, 3rd, Amanda Anisimova, 4th, and Jessica Pegula, 6th. The 21-year-old Gauff last year beat Sabalenka at the French Open for her second major crown, but her best performance on the Melbourne Park hardcourts was making the semifinals in 2024. Speaking at the Mixed Teams United Cup, where she launched her 2026 campaign, Gauff said she spent the off-season just overall becoming better and more comfortable with my game. Her serve has been her biggest failing, and she suffered a surprise defeat to Spain's Jessica Buzas Monero at the United Cup, but recovered to defeat Swiatek 6-4, 6-2 in a statement victory. It was Gauff's 4th win in a row over Swiatek. The 24-year-old Anisimova has emerged as a serious threat after enjoying the best year of her career in 2025, reaching the finals of Wimbledon and the US Open, and winning 1,000 titles in Beijing and Qatar. She also made the season-ending WTA finals for the first time, going down to Sabalenka in 3 sets in a high-octane semifinal. "She always pushes me to play my best tennis," said Sabalenka. Like Pegula, a first major title remains elusive for Anisimova despite going close. Swiatek, Sabalenka's long-term rival for the top ranking, is overdue something special in Melbourne. The Pole is a 6-time Grand Slam champion, and the Australian Open is the only major she has yet to win. She matched her best Melbourne performance by reaching last year's semifinals, and did so in rampant style, only to lose to an inspired Keys. At a Grand Slam, you have to really play great for 2 weeks, not have any bad days, be consistent, the 24-year-old said at the United Cup. Japan's former world number 1 Osaka would be a popular winner if she were to add to her 2019 and 2021 Melbourne triumphs. Now ranked 16th, the 28-year-old must rank as an outsider, capable of conjuring up her best tennis in flashes but unable to do it consistently and stay fit for long stretches. World number 5 Aryna Sabalenka, the Moscow-born Kazakh, is another to watch. Imperious Sabalenka. It is hard to look beyond Sabalenka. Having been stunned by the unfancied Keys, the Belarusian suffered more Grand Slam heartbreak in the French Open final against Gauff. She then went down to Anisimova in the Wimbledon last 4, before roaring back to get revenge over the American and retain her US Open title. The Australian Open champion in 2023 and 2024, Sabalenka will be in an unfamiliar role when she goes into the tournament as runner-up from 12 months ago. "Honestly, there is no difference," the hard-hitting Sabalenka said in Brisbane this month, where she won the title for a second successive year in an ominous statement of intent. "Every time, if I'm defending champion, if I lost first round last year, the goal is always the same, to bring my best tennis and to improve my game." Outside the title contenders, there will be fascination in how Venus Williams performs when she becomes the oldest woman to play in the main draw at Melbourne. The 7-time Grand Slam singles champion was handed a wild card aged 45. The American, who has played only a limited number of singles matches in recent years, will compete at the Australian Open for the first time since 2021. Australian Open 2026, power, passion, and the pursuit of glory. The start of the tennis season has always carried with it a spark, a crackling energy that pulses through Melbourne Park as the Australian Open swings into action. And for the 2026 edition, that energy has reached a fever pitch. At the center of it all stands Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1 and 2-time Australian Open champion, a dominant force, an intimidating presence, and the favorite to lift the trophy once more. But she won't have it her own way. Waiting in the wings are a constellation of elite rivals, from Poland's clay court queen Iga Swiatek to America's dynamic stars Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, Amanda Anisimova and Jessica Pegula, each with their own narratives, momentum and hunger. Sabalenka, the Colossus of Melbourne. Aryna Sabalenka arrives in Australia at the peak of her powers. Fresh from a commanding title defense in Brisbane, where she didn't drop a single set, Sabalenka looks every bit the player destined for more greatness. Her ferocious serve, explosive ground strokes, and sheer competitive intensity make her a formidable opponent on the quick, hard courts of Melbourne Park. For many, she represents not just a favorite but the favorite, a player built for physical domination in two-week Grand Slam battles. The narrative around Sabalenka isn't just about raw power, it's about evolution. After her rivalry with Madison Keys in last year's final, where she was upset in a classic three-setter, she enters 2026 with a point to prove. The world number one is no longer just a contender, she's the benchmark against whom others measure themselves. Her confidence is palpable, her ambition clear, another Australian Open crown, extending her legacy in a sport now hungry for a new era of champions. Swiatek, the pursuit of the missing piece. If Sabalenka is the undoubted favorite, then Iga Swiatek is the proverbial challenger with unfinished business. The Polish star, a multi-Grand Slam champion, has conquered clay, grass and US soil, but that golden Australian title remains elusive. Despite her brilliance across surfaces, Melbourne has offered mixed fortunes, with deep runs but no final appearances. It's a gap in her resume that few elite players can afford, and you can sense the determination in Swiatek's approach as she eyes the start of the 2026 season. Swiatek's style, built on tactical intelligence, relentless defense and versatile shot-making, is a stark contrast to Sabalenka's power game. While Melbourne's hard courts are not her traditional comfort surface, Swiatek's adaptability is her greatest asset. She's not content with mere participation, she wants contention, and she wants redemption. The Australian Open, for her, isn't just another trophy, it's the missing gem in an already glistening crown. American Thunder, a squadron of threats. If the women's draw were a chessboard, the United States would be a kingmaker. Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, Amanda Anisimova and Jessica Pegula, a quartet deep in the world's top rankings, promise to shape the narrative just as much as any top seed.